Hello, it's me, Taniya Hussain, and welcome back to the Reflective Space podcast. This season's called Before You Walk Away, and it's for those of us who work in helping professions, the people who hold space for everyone else, even when you're barely holding it together yourself. Last episode, we talked about the integrity gap, how we're addicted to being needed, but terrible at taking care of ourselves. Today, we're going deeper. What happens when caring starts to hurt so much that you just stop feeling? There's a difference between being cold and being numb. Cold people don't care. Numb people care so much they had to shut down to survive. If you've been wondering why you can't feel joy anymore, even when good things happen, this one's for you.
If you realize you're starting to numb, if you're using food, sex, if you're shopping, if you're talking, if you're gossiping, if you're working out, if you're using religion, it can be a drug too. If you're overdoing something, trying to shut down your emotions, or quiet what I call the demons in your head, I think that's a sign that you're using some type of external experience or external thing to make you feel good inside. That numbing is the key. And I think the third thing is when you start to change in how you interact with people, meaning you're highly irritable, impatient, bitterness. Are you cynic? You're very cynical. Are you, in the South, we have this term called nice nasty in the South. And that means that I'm smiling on the outside, but I'm cussing you out in the inside. It's called nice nasty. And so I think that anytime you have a behavioral change, you're numbing, or if you're changing your pattern, I think that should give you a sign. My sign was I started seeing big shifts in my weight because I started using food. I'm a number. And I would eat, and one day I'm like, oh my God, 20 pounds heavier. I didn't realize it. Or I stopped sleeping, right? Or sleeping too much.
We can't numb emotions in isolation. If we are numbing our emotions, and what happens is then we don't feel anything. If we're trying to numb anger and bitterness, we lose joy at the same time and happiness. Mm-hmm. And so I had to learn to not fear the fear. That feeling the fear was actually a good sign so that I could feel the joy as well and come out of that.
Emotional detachment. When people feel they are not feeling joy, so it's like it can come up as anxiety or completely cut off from, and I'd from an energetic perspective now would describe that they're living so much in their head, they've had to completely detach themselves from the feelings because they can't go there because they're just so busy and overwhelmed that everything is up here, and that they're thinking that they can't even connect with the people that they're providing the service with to anymore because it's just too much.
And that's pretty dangerous when they become so cut off from their emotions. As a social worker, I really need to feel what my clients are feeling. I really need to be empathetic, not sympathetic, empathetic. And when I feel like I'm not going to be able to imagine what they're feeling, I can't always understand, but if I can't even imagine what they're feeling or even try to feel it, that you lose your, when I say, yeah, maybe this is a bit too harsh, like your humanity, you become like a robot, like you're saying that you're just ticking the boxes.
Yeah.
And that is really dangerous. It's dangerous for you as a professional. It's dangerous for the client. And it's just dangerous all around because you're not giving that 100% because you need to be there for your client or your patient. And I think that's a really brilliant point that you've just said, Louisa, that emotional dissociation that you're all in your head and you've completely stopped feeling. I hadn't actually stopped feeling within my work. I was still really very empathetic with my clients and being there emotionally, feeling very sensitive. But at home, I was a nightmare. I was taking out all my anger and all my bitterness to my family. I was a nightmare to live with. You're like being really giving and positive at work, but yet at home you're like constantly angry, and that is no way of being. It's like Two-Face in Batman, you know, that
mask, yeah.
Right.
The mask has to come off.
Sorry, That is no way of being a person of integrity, that you're just so awful to your family, but you are being this angel at work. Would you?
And whether you're feeling that being an angel at work, or whether it's the mask you're wearing because you're having to protect everything underneath because you're feeling so overwhelmed. So you can do the acting, but the connection might not truly be there because you're having to protect yourself.
When you see so much pain day in and day out, and you see it in so many different ways, it can sometimes bring up guilt. If then you go home at the end of the day and you get to enjoy your life, you get to enjoy your partner or your nice dinner or go get a massage when the person that you were just with can't afford to feed themselves. There's a lot of guilt, I think, that goes on, almost like a survivor guilt. It goes on for a lot of people and feel badly that they're living a very different life. And sometimes that guilt is because there's something that maybe still needs some healing for yourself. And the second part of that is also boundaries, especially if we can empathize because of personal experience. Again, even if it's just a similar feeling, well, sometimes it can be really difficult to leave that at the office, so to speak, and then come home to work. But sometimes it's also some boundaries, and we can feel guilty even about having those boundaries. And is so incredibly necessary, especially doing social work type stuff.
I'm a big Brene Brown fan. She wrote a book called The Gift of Imperfection. And that was a critical book that helped me early on in my recovery to understand that I have to embrace imperfection. So that helps me as a person. It helps me as a business owner, because if you're a business owner, you never arrive to satisfaction. You live in a constant state of frustration that things are never where you want them to be. So what you have to do is embrace imperfection and celebrate it, and lay your head down at night going, I didn't get it all done today, and it's okay, and my worthiness and my value is not wrapped up in all that, right?
There's so many clients that come to me saying they want to change their jobs. They're hating their jobs now, but actually through the energy work, when you reconnect the head, the heart, and the hara, and be fully in alignment with your spirit and change the energy around it, people have said, oh my God, I love my job again. and that wasn't, they came thinking, okay, I need to find the courage to leave my job to do X, Y, and Z. But actually it was reconnecting with yourself, find yourself again, the love and the joy in your own life. And then for some people, they are in the right place. And for others, they've then got the courage, action to go, come up with a plan to find out where is it that where should they be?
You know what stuck with me? Bill saying he had to learn to embrace imperfection, to lay his head down at night and go, I didn't get it all done today, and it's okay. Maybe that's where healing starts, not with fixing yourself, but with being a little kinder to yourself. Next episode, we're talking about how your self-care routine might actually be exhausting you, when wellness becomes just another thing you have to perform perfectly. If you want updates when a new episode is live, you can subscribe at dancingwithdarknessbook.com. Take care.